Rostum Agapito, and this is my video. I will be making an assessment by utilizing what I learned in Introduction of Psychology. So here we go. In viewing myself, we're going to use three perspectives: humanistic, behavioral, and cognitive. So behavioral. Before I reached the adolescent period, I lived in the province with my parents. So basically, my parents molded my behavior and how I think. I learned things through rewards and punishment. Rewards like Game Boys, cell phones, and a Jollibee toy made me strive for a gold medal in school. I was told that eating vegetables and sleeping in the afternoon will make you tall and healthy. So if you don't do this, or if you try to avoid these things, you will experience the belt or hunger punishment, which is very fearsome before. Next is humanistic perspective. After reaching the adolescent period, I transferred here in Manila to study. I was like a young bird flying out from his mother's nest. I now have the freedom to do things on my own way. I have the free will to do what I want. An example of this is playing computer games rather than studying for an exam. That example takes me to the cognitive perspective. After having a low mark in that exam, I learned that playing computer games is a bad thing to do before an exam. That experience is now embedded in my memory. Experiences greatly affect how I deal or decide things or behave on certain circumstances. I also think of the consequences before I do things now. Next question is, what problems am I facing in my current stage of development? According to Erickson, I am now in the adolescent stage and currently facing an identity crisis. I am now 17 years old and currently in the last part of this stage. I already know who I am, what are my beliefs. I also know what I want in my life. I want to be a lawyer. Many people say that this occupation suits my personality. I also found this occupation cool, and I want to be rich and famous, and respected also. Next question is, what is my learning style? So basically, I am both a visual and an auditory learner. I learn things if the teacher will show pictures and diagrams. PowerPoints and handouts are also my thing. I also learn when the teacher interacts or talks to us. I can say that I'm a better auditory learner than a visual learner. When I study for an exam, I combine reading the keywords in the handouts and saying it loudly. This is the most suitable learning strategy for me. I also talk to myself and ask questions. I also use mnemonics to learn. Last is how I develop my personality. Early experiences with my parents molded my personality. They instilled that life is hard and money is hard to earn. This is why I always take my work seriously, so someday I would become a successful person. Environmental factors also affect my personality. Observing people's lives in television and in real life have also a great influence in my personality. I also tend to alter my bad qualities into good ones to be a better person. I have two defense mechanisms that I use to cope with problems. First is sublimation. Sublimation is a defense mechanism that allows us to act out of unacceptable impulses by converting these behaviors into more acceptable forms. Example of this is when I got a low grade in an exam, I'll make a double effort on that subject after that. I'll turn my disappointment into working better next time. Another is humor. This is what I always do when I have problems. I joke about these problems. An example of this is when I got into a fight with a friend. After the day of the fight, I joke about it and we laugh about what happened. I always use humor as a defense mechanism because it makes me lighten or diffuse a tense or sad situation. I really learned many things in Introduction of Psychology. First, I learned more about myself, how I view the world, how I view other people, and how I view myself, of course. Secondly, is I satisfied my hunger for knowledge or my curiosity. I learned about hypnotism, deja vu, and many more. I really wanted to answer those things. Lastly, I believe that what I learned in Introduction of Psychology will greatly help me in dealing with things in the future. I am now very confident to face what the future holds. And that's all, folks.